Hi everybody! So I wanted to make an update video today talking about a few things that have been going on in my life. I've had just a lot going on, so I haven't made a video in a while. The first thing that I wanted to talk about is these two behind me. This is Oreo and Pip. So when I did my introduction video, the Meet My Pets video, Meet the Pets video, Oreo and Pip were in the same cage, and obviously they're not in the same cage anymore. So what happened was the day that I had to take Pip out of the cage, I came in here to work. This is my office, as well as where all of my guinea pigs are. So I came in here to start working, and I just was checking on everybody, and I happened to look over, and Oreo basically charged Pip, is the only way I can describe it. Which was something that was very unusual because Oreo is my most calm guinea pig and he is not aggressive at all. So it was really weird and concerning. But as soon as he did it, he charged Pip and then basically just laid down, and Pip ran to the other side of the cage and then just did his own thing. So I just kept an eye on them during the day while I was working. And at one point I happened to again look over, and Pip was standing by Oreo, and I couldn't see exactly what he was doing, but Oreo charged him. But this time he didn't stop. He just continued to charge him, and I could tell it was getting bad really fast and they were going to fight. So this is probably not the best way to handle it, but I wasn't expecting that to happen, so I was really panicked and I stood up and started yelling, which it scared them enough that they stopped, and then I was able to hurry and get Pip out of the cage. I looked them both over to make sure that they didn't have any cuts or bites or anything, and luckily they didn't. So I temporarily took Pip out of the room. I took him out for probably about a week and a half. He was just in a temporary cage while I waited for another cage to come. And then when it did come, this is the one I added it to Oreo's cage basically with a divider so that they can be kind of together, but I don't think they can hurt each other. If they can, at least not as bad, hopefully, but I don't think that they can. So the day that I put this together though, they basically, Pip is right there and then Oreo would be right here, and they just kept biting the bars and trying to get to each other. So I did try to put them back together one time. I basically just took out this middle panel, and I was hoping that I could do that every once in a while just to let them kind of hang out together for a while, as long as I was in the room watching them. But as soon as they were in the same cage together again, they just started doing all the same things. They were just being very aggressive toward each other. So as of right now, I just have them separated by the middle panel. I feel bad about it because as you can probably see, Pip is hiding under his little bridge right there, and Oreo hides under the other side most of the time. They both sit under there most of the time, and they're always sleeping there together, and they just hang out together through the bars. And so I feel like they want to be together, but when they are together, they are kind of aggressive. So I just worry that they'll get in a fight when I'm not in the room. So I'm not sure. I might at one point, at some point try to put them together again. I don't really know yet, but as of right now, they're together, but not in the same cage. So that is the update on those two. And then I did take all of them back to the vet recently. I think it was maybe a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago. So I just wanted to give an update on that as well. So Pip, when I took him the first time, he had ringworm, and I was bathing him once a week with a medicated shampoo and a lime sulfur dip. So the vet said that his skin is looking much better, but he wants me just to continue doing the once a week bathing and medication just to make sure that everything is gone. So I've been doing that with him, but other than that, he is pretty healthy. And then Oreo had bloat before, and the vet said that his bloat is definitely going down, so the medication is working, but it's not completely gone yet. So I am still giving him medication every day, multiple times a day. And then I do the sulfur bath and the medicated bath for him once a week as well. Even though he didn't have ringworm, I just want to make sure that he doesn't get it because the rest of my guinea pigs did have it. And then Onyx and Peanut, basically the same as Pip. I'm just still bathing them once a week, but their skin is looking a lot better, so I don't think they have it anymore. And then Kodiak and Kite, it was their first visit to the vet with me. And overall, considering where they came from, they're pretty healthy. However, so I was told by the person I got them from that their vet said that they no longer had mites, and my vet said they do have something. So he said they could test for it, or they could just treat for it, and give me something that would treat for kind of everything. So they either have lice, mites, or ringworm. I think it was lice or mites are more likely. So he gave them a shot each, and then I'm supposed to take them back in a couple of weeks to get a second one. And then I also, just in case they do have ringworm, I bathe them once a week now as well. And then I'll just do that basically until the medication is gone. So it's a lot of bathing, and none of them like it, so it's stressful and it takes a long time, and I usually get scratched up a lot, but I mean, it's necessary to make sure that they're healthy. So that's the update on their health lately. So unfortunately, I did have Hammy pass away recently. I think I had him for about 3 years, and I'm sure a lot of people know hamsters don't live very long. I think like 2 to 4 years maybe for certain breeds. So I did have him for quite a while, and he was just getting old. I had noticed that he had started to slow down a lot. He was not really using his will anymore. He was eating a lot less than he used to, and he was just not coming up out of his bedding very often. He just stayed hidden a lot. So I started getting him out every day, and I would just hold him for a while, make sure that he was okay, and just check on him basically. And the day he died, I had taken him out, and I was holding him on my lap, probably for about an hour while he slept. And then I just had him in my lap, and then he crawled up my chest, and then I had my arm up here. He laid down sideways on my arm and put his head on my arm, and he started just taking really shallow, deep breaths, and he did that a couple of times and then stopped moving completely. So I held him for probably about 30 minutes after he passed away, and then I buried him in my yard. So I have a little gravestone that I had made coming, and then I had this little necklace with his face on it made. So yeah, it was a really hard day, but I knew that it would happen, because he was old and they just don't live very long. And then I actually did get another hamster, and although I don't like getting animals from pet stores like Petco or PetSmart, he did come from one of those places, but it was because my dad actually was here the day that Hammy died, and so my dad basically gifted the new hamster to me because he felt bad about Hammy dying. So the new hamster's name is Kanai. That's the name that I got from, I think it's the Brother Bear movie. I just like the name. So I will probably go and try and get him out so that I can show him to you guys, but I have not held him since I put him in the cage. And he actually, the day that I put him in the cage, he bit me, and then he just basically buries himself under his bedding, like most hamsters do during the day. But I've tried to get him out a couple of times, and he actually squeals at me, and I've never actually heard a hamster do that before. So I think it's just his way of saying that he's upset and doesn't want to be bothered. So I have pet him a couple of times, but other than that, I have pretty much just let him try and get used to being in our home, and just let him get used to the cage. So I think I will try and get him out and see how he does so that I can show him to you. But he's a long-haired hamster, and my dad did ask the pet store employee how old she thought he was, and I know it may not be totally accurate, but she guessed that he was about 4 months old. So that is the story with Hammy. So he unfortunately is no longer here. And then it was, I think, maybe just a week later, my family dog, her name was Kay, she had to be put down. So she was 13 years old. We got her when I think I was like 15, and she basically, I was supposed to be going to my family's house, which is about an hour away, for a Father's Day celebration. I got a call from my mom that morning. She was crying, and she was just saying that Kay wasn't doing well, and that she thought that she was going to have to be put down. And something similar had happened a few months before that, where my mom thought that they were going to have to put her down. But she took her to the vet at that time, and they were able to put her on some pain medications that seemed to help for a while. But basically I rushed to my mom's house, and Kay had basically lost all control of her bowels. She was no longer walking on her back legs. She was just dragging them, basically. And then anytime we would touch her, she would cry and wince, and it was just very clear that she was in pain. So I went with my mom and my stepdad to have her put down, and it's the first time that I've ever seen that, and it was awful. It was awful. I still have a hard time with it because I just keep picturing it, and I wanted to be there to comfort her while it was happening, and to say goodbye to her, but it was very hard. So I don't know, it was very hard to watch. It was just very hard to watch. But that happened. So, and again, she was also very old as well, and was just not doing good. Her health was just not doing good. So I know, there are people who have different opinions on putting animals down, and for a long time I didn't think that I could ever do that, but I think when it comes to making the decision on whether or not you're keeping your dog alive to make you happy versus you're going to put your dog down because they're suffering, I think that's when it is okay. And I think that Kay was suffering, and she no longer is. So even though it was really hard, we did have 13 years with her, which was amazing. But yeah, she was just a really good girl, and I wish that I had spent more time with her, honestly. I mean, I spent my childhood with her, or my teenage years, I guess I should say, but I moved out at 18, and then basically I've only seen her when I go visit my family. It's not all the time. So yeah, so she's no longer here. My mom and my stepdad still have an English bulldog. Her name is Lexi. So I've been asking here and there how everybody's doing. Lexi too, because her and Kay have been best friends basically for her whole life, because we got Lexi a few years, well, actually it was probably about 6 years ago that they got Lexi. So Lexi's also getting pretty old for for what kind of a dog she is, but my mom says that she just seems pretty lost and confused, and she looks for Kay, and she's not doing too great either. So hopefully she will live a lot longer, but I'm not sure. So I'm not sure how well you can see, but Pip is currently trying to bite through the bars. He does this every day, all day. He takes breaks to eat hay and to sleep pretty much, but he just does this, and I don't know what to do about it. I've tried putting a blanket between them and they just pull it out and move it out of the way. I don't really want to separate them into, you know, two separate cages because I want them to still be together basically, but I just feel bad that he does this all the time. So I probably will make a video, another video. I'm not sure if I'll add it to this one or make a separate video, but I need to still do the health checks on my guinea pigs for this week, and I need to bathe all of them and do their medication and stuff, so I probably will make a video of that. And then I need to spot clean their cages as well. And then, like I said, I'm going to go get Kanai and see if he will let me hold him. So we'll see how that goes, and I'm going to go get him. So I just went and tried to get Kanai out, and that did not work out. He was squilling, and he like lifted up his little hands and was like opening his mouth. So I don't think he wants to be bothered, so I'm just gonna leave him alone, and I will put in a picture of him. So that you guys can see him. And then I probably at some point today, like I said, will make the health check video, and probably the spot clean video as well. And that's pretty much it. So thank you guys for watching, and I hope you enjoy this video. Bye.